Hey guys, in this video we will be focusing on the opening SHA1 website or web page and then closing the SHA1 application, and then we'll also include the initializing all the application. So let's go ahead and start that. So the first uh, thing that we need to do is to create a new sequence, and then we'll have to name that SHA1 open. And here we need to select the SHA1 online folder for the location. So make sure to do the same and hit the create button. So first is we need to have an in argument. So that should be the SHA1 URL. And again, the direction is in, argument type should be string. And the first activity that we need for this sequence is the open browser activity. So go ahead and search that, and the URL should be the value of the SHA1 URL argument. And then again, same with the system one. After we navigate to that page, we need to maximize the window. So look for the maximize window activity, and there you go. That's all for the SHA1 open. And again, it's always good, or it's always best that we try our code before we go on the next sequence. So to test that, we will be using the test SAML again. But let's disable this one, or let's delete that to avoid confusion. Then make sure to save the SHA1 underscore open sequence and go to test, then invoke that workflow or sequence. So that should be in here and here. Oops. Okay, now you can see here in import arguments that there is a one argument required. So we need to set that to the config. Oops. That should be SHA1 online URL. I hope that that's correct. Make sure that make sure to add that to string. And let me close this one first. Let's try run file. Okay, so we get the correct value, and as you can see here, we are now in the SHA1 online page, and the next sequence that we will be working on is the SHA1 underscore close. So let's close this one for now. Now again, create a new sequence. Let's name that SHA1 close, and again make sure to select the SHA1 online folder for the location, and then hit this create button. So the first activity that we need in here is the attach browser activity. Go to the activity panel and search for the attach browser. Put that in here, and let's indicate the SHA1 page. Click that in here, and for the SHA1 selector, we don't need to change that. That's not changing. That's fixed. So we should be good on that. So the next activity that we need to add is the close tab. So go ahead and drag that in this here. And since this sequence does not require any argument, we don't need to use the underscore test SAML to test this sequence. So make sure to save that first, and let's click run file. And it was able to close the SHA1 page. Okay, so let's close this one now. The next step is to work on the InitAllApplication. So let's find that workflow first. Here is the InitAllApplications. Alright, here the first thing that we need to do is to invoke the System1 login. So look for that sequence and drag that in here. And every time you invoke a workflow, make sure to always bind all the arguments on that workflow. So like in here, we need to use inconfig because that's the variable available in here for the config. And this should be system1 URL that to string. And the next one is inconfig underscore credential dot to string, and hit the OK button. After that, we need to invoke the SHA1 open. Drag that in here, and then there's one argument required. That should be the inconfig SHA1 online URL that to string. Hit the OK button, and that should be all for the init all application. So it's important for this framework to initialize the system1 and SHA1 first before doing the next steps or activities. So let's save this for now. Okay, well, we cannot test it. We will be needing the, oh, it's an ambulance. Okay, apologize for that background. So we should be good on this sequence now. The next sequence that we need to work on is the close all application. So go ahead again and find that workflow. So that's under the framework folder. Activate that or open that workflow. So here, the first sequence that we need to invoke, or the first workflow, is the system1 underscore close, and then the SHA1 underscore close. Again, we are on the close all applications workflow. And that's all for this workflow. After you drag this to workflow, make sure to save it. And let's close that one. Then the next sequence should be the kill all process. So this one, open that. So here we just need to add one activity, which is the kill process. So go ahead and search for that and drag that in here. And here we need to edit one property. Here in the process name, we need to set that to iExplore and hit the OK button. Then make sure to save that, and it should be good. So these are the items under the framework folder that you need to set up before proceeding on the next step. So make sure to complete all those steps, and then on the next video we will focus on the more on the navigation on the system1 application. So that's all for in this video. See you again on the next one.